My name is Marjory Harper. I'm Professor of History at the University of Aberdeen, and I coordinate the Scottish Heritage Programme and I teach on a number of the component courses. I think the huge benefit is its flexibility. Because it's a 100% online programme, people can study when they want and where they want, and in any part of the world. So we have had students from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the United States, Africa, Asia, really all over the globe. And it is so flexible because it's asynchronous, and people who are retired or are in other sorts of occupations can study at their leisure and according to their interests.
My name is Elena McTavish-Khalil, and I am studying on the online program for Scottish Heritage here at the University of Aberdeen. I was looking for something that was a bit deeper than my own self-study, which I'd been doing for several years. And I had done some short online courses, and I said, it's time to take it to the next level, but I didn't know what.
What's unique about the program is that it's the first one in Scotland that is a Scottish heritage program. It is interdisciplinary and it is multidisciplinary. And it did attract, it still attracts many students because of that breadth of approach and that interdisciplinarity. There's huge flexibility within the program in that students don't have to sign up and commit themselves to the full master's program from the start. They can take one course at a time, a short course. If they enjoy that, they can go on and take another course. If they've taken two courses, they qualify for a certificate in Scottish Heritage. They can then take two more courses and qualify for a diploma in Scottish Heritage. But if they wish to take the full MLitt, they can progress from doing core courses to doing a dissertation in their third year. We have a huge range of ages and interests. A number of people who have studied in the programme have actually gone on to do doctoral studies within Aberdeen University. From each cohort, we have people currently working on PhDs. We also have people who work in, for example, the museum sector who want to do CPD and enhance their expertise. But we do have a lot of retired people. And when we inaugurated the programme, we actually thought that was going to be the main interest group. And we have had a number of retired doctors, lawyers, other professionals. But we also have people who have been out of formal education for perhaps 3 decades or more, and they just want to return and take up something that interests them, and that's a huge delight to us. One of the challenges when we devised this program was how we were going to create a community of students who never saw each other, who were scattered across the globe and who studied asynchronously through discussion boards or through private study. And that really was a major concern because it's so much easier when you do have students sitting around a table on campus talking to each other in seminars. But we worked very hard at this, and I think we did manage to create a community of students. For example, in the first cohort, in the middle of their first year, several of them came across from Australia and Canada and the States and gathered together in Aberdeen so they could meet each other. And that was great. We had a super time with them.
I'll admit it, I thought that the community would feel really remote because I was used to other online courses, but I was really surprised. And I think it's about the fact that, number one, the students who sign up for this program are doing it because they're quite interested in it. But the discussion board, which is just a modality that the university uses, ask questions that are actually really interesting. You respond, and then they ask you to not just kind of come on with a dissertation of what you think about the topic, but really build on other students' comments. So you're going back and forth all throughout the week. Professor once in a while jumps into the conversation to kind of steer it a bit. And through that, you get to know other students. You get to know what drives them, what are their interests, what topics that they're probably most interested in. You can kind of throw a few bones to them. And I would say by about week 3 of every course, I feel like I know the students very well. And then we start reaching out to each other on the side as well.
It's been very encouraging to see how the students have participated in real-time discussion. This is by no means obligatory within any of the courses, but they have a real enthusiasm for joining in with each other and joining in with their tutors in usually end-of-week discussions about the teaching and learning process that has taken place in that week. So we do have a real community of students. As the numbers have increased, again, that has become a concern, that how do we maintain this sense of community? But I think we have succeeded in doing that. And it's a great tribute to our students that that has been the case. The other thing I would say is that what is really exciting for us as teachers is that it is a collaborative process. We teach, but we also learn. I think I learn far more from my students than I actually impart to them. So it's a great privilege to teach them in this program. What we tried to do when we devised the program was to make it multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. So we have people with expertise in history, philosophy, art history, divinity, and we're always looking to expand our offerings within the program. So we try to begin by offering the students a basic course. Really, it's a galloping course through 1,000 years of Scottish history. We call it a millennium of Scottish history. And that gives them a taster for what they can then go on to study, not just within history, but within other disciplines in courses such as the Scottish diaspora, the story of Scots who emigrated over the last 200 or 300 years, Scottish church history from Columba to the present, Scotland's visual history, a history of Scottish art, which has been a very, very popular course. And we also teach them a methodological course, archives and sources, approaches to research, looking at topics through the lens of the sources that we use to explore those themes. And so we have many different avenues through which we conduct our teaching and learning.
I would highly recommend this course. In fact, absolutely would be my answer to almost anyone. And it really doesn't matter if you know a little bit about Scottish heritage or you know a lot, because there's a place for anyone in this course. And I would just say is look into it, ask around, see what other people think. I would passionately suggest that this is a fantastic course, particularly if you've got a very busy schedule, either professional and personal, but you feel like you need to find an outlet or you want to tap into a community and you just want to study something in a bit more formal way than you might have done otherwise. I would say this is the perfect conduit for that.
We were very aware when we devised this program that there were going to be significant challenges in delivering something that was 100% online. We needed, for example, to maintain a variety of approaches, and we have done that through using mini lectures that are written, audio recordings, PowerPoint, but of course the students have to have access to materials that are available online. So we structured our courses in a way that allowed them to access library materials. And of course, every cloud has a silver lining, and I think the COVID pandemic has facilitated the increase availability of sources online. So they do have access to primary sources and to secondary readings that it would be advantageous, of course, if they had access to a university library, but they have all the tools that they need at their disposal to fulfill their studies through online facilities. I really must pay tribute to my colleagues in the e-learning department who have helped us all along the line since the inauguration of the program and continue to do so. I was very privileged 2 years ago to win a prize from the Royal Historical Society for inspirational teaching and supervision, but really that prize should have been spread amongst my academic colleagues and amongst my colleagues in e-learning as well for the consistent and enthusiastic support that they have provided. We simply couldn't have done it without that technical support. We're all on a learning curve, and we still are.
Any program, any successful anything comes down to the people behind it. I would say the people here at the University of Aberdeen are just fantastic.
I was very struck by the comment of one student in a feedback form in which he said, "This program has changed my life." And that is a tremendous tribute, I think, to the program, to his fellow students, to the technical support we have, and to my colleagues who teach on the program. Somebody else said, "This year I have enjoyed every crumb from this course." That was the first course that the person had taken. So it's a huge encouragement to us when we receive feedback like that to go on and develop further courses within the program.